hand hold it, but you know, not for very long. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have the rare commodity of time. So I've come to one of my favourite locations to try and capture some really moody seascape photography. Because I've got time on my side, I'm going to try and slow things down a little bit. I'm going to stack some ND filters to enable me to use a really long shutter speed so that I can really try and capture some of the ethereal nature of the light and the water and the movement. What I'll do is, to begin with, I will show you some of the kit that I'm going to be using, and then we'll crack on with this assignment. For an assignment like this, you will need a sturdy pair of shoes. These are battered old walking boots, but they kind of do the job. You need something that is grippy and probably waterproof. You will also need a camera. Here we have my Canon R5. That's what I'm using for this shoot. High megapixel, weatherproof, super reliable, absolutely amazing for this kind of thing. On it, you will notice that we have a lens. This is the Canon RF14-35 f4 zoom lens. You will notice that the stabilizer is turned off because I like to have it off when the camera is on the tripod. On the top, we have a transmitter which plugs into the camera, and this is a remote trigger, which means I can fire the camera remotely without having to touch it and maybe cause a bit of camera shake, and maybe even stand away from the camera to time my exposure. Perfect. Not essential, but handy to have. Also, these things are very handy to have. If you're using a long exposure and you're using a tripod, get some of these old CDs and you can put your tripod legs onto them so it won't sink into the sand. On the front of the camera, you will notice that there is a neutral density filter. That lessens the amount of light that it stops the light going into the camera so that we can use a longer shutter speed. This is the Lee 10 stop big stopper. It's been my ND filter of choice for many years. There are others out there that are magnetic and a bit more clever maybe, but this thing has been amazing for me. It just does the job, gets the job done. And because of this thing, because of the 10 stop nature of this ND filter, it means it will be using shutter speeds all the way down to probably 30 seconds, which is a really long time to hold the shutter open if you think about it. So we will need a tripod. And the tripod that we're using today is this thing that Freewell have sent me. It's called the Freewell Multi Tripod. I've been using it for the last few weeks on all of my assignments that require tripods, and I kind of absolutely love it. It's been so flexible and adaptable, incredible build quality, and it's really in that sweet spot of size. So it's not too big, but big enough. And it's not too heavy, but it's heavy duty enough to hold the camera really stable. And I think that's really important with the tripod. It has to be good enough to do what you need it to do. This thing is so adaptable because you can unscrew one of the legs and turn it into a monopod. You can attach the little legs that come with it and it becomes a mini tripod for on your desk if you're vlogging or doing stuff that's close up. The tools are involved inside that means that you can shorten the center column so you can put the camera very low, or you can unscrew the monopod legs, in fact, and use them as hiking poles, for Christ's sake. Isn't that incredible? I mean, so many different options with this thing. It saves you having to carry 3 or 4 different things in your kit, which kind of becomes a little bit of frustrating, and it's another management issue having to carry all those different things. So the Freewell Multi Tripod, I will leave a link in the description below. So I really like this composition behind me with the leading lines of the rocks going out, and then we've got these amazing clouds on the horizon. So I've stacked up the ND, so I've got a really long exposure of 30 seconds to try and get as much movement into the file as possible. Firing the shutter with my remote trigger here, so I'm actually taking pictures while I'm talking, which is very cool. Now, I've been experimenting with shutter speeds all the way from probably half a second all the way up to 30 seconds to try and capture different feels and different movement in the water, different movement in the sky. People will try and tell you there is a formula to which shutter speed you should use for this kind of photography. And to some extent, I think that's true. But also you need to just experiment and work out what it is that's right for you, because each of these different shutter speeds kind of creates a different feel in the picture. So I guess it also depends on what kind of mood you're trying to convey at the time, whether it's peaceful serenity or kind of drama and movement, because those things require very different settings, right? Good Lord, sometimes being a photographer is the most wonderful thing. Look at this day, look at the conditions. Sometimes it's just all about being out with the camera. So many times over the years, photography has kind of saved me from the chaos of life, because I can get out somewhere beautiful with my camera and take pictures. Whether I'm doing it for money or not is, I guess, another matter to some extent. But also it is my hobby, so I just enjoy it. And the camera is the thing that has brought me to a location like this. I probably wouldn't have come otherwise. And so, you know, being here is actually the prize, not actually the picture. One of the things that I also like to do in these kind of locations is to find things to shoot with a long lens to kind of isolate out parts of the landscape. And so that's what I'm going to do now. Slightly different setup for this kind of telephoto picture. We're going to be using this bad boy, again on the R5. Don't need the shutter remote anymore. But the problem with one of these is that they're very heavy. You can hand hold it, but you know, not for very long. And that's where this multi tripod comes in again, because I can take one of these legs off she comes. I could attach the head to it if I wanted, or that can just go straight in to the collar of this bad boy. And we have a very useful monopod. So I'm not one to normally bang on about health and safety, but we do need to be careful when we're shooting at the beach. Every time I'm at the beach taking pictures, I nearly end up always getting wet feet, or worse. And this is an example of how you can become so engrossed in the photography that you actually forget that there are waves and that there is the tide moving. And I thought that I was in the clear here, and then another kind of tidal surge is creeping up on me. I've put my bag down over here on the left on a rock, and I very nearly lose it. You can kind of see here, look, secondary wave just catches it. I just managed to get it in time. But, you know, bad things can happen at the beach really quickly, so, you know, just please be careful if you go out and about shooting. No damage done on this occasion, by the way, apart from soggy feet. I've had a great time today at the beach. I'd recommend it to anybody. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon. Bye-bye.